if people were given the opportunity between Professor Pastor Yemi OSINBAJO and President Muhammadu Buhari, Major General Muhammadu Buhari retired, the president of Nigeria, I think people will select Vice President Yemi OSINBAJO. Yesterday, he insisted that the federal government has no business running the refineries in the country. Speaking at a virtual meeting organized for the All Progressive Congress, APC, social media bloggers and influencers at the ruling party secretariat in Abuja yesterday, he said government will rather bank on and do more to encourage private investors in refineries, in Nigeria. As you know, there are not much things that are working in Nigeria, or rather, let's say there's nothing really working per se. The refinery, the steel. It's just recently that a lady from Kogi State tried to bring in investors from Ukraine, Russia, somewhere in the, there from those regions to come invest in the steel industry in Nigeria. Steel industry grounded down, refinery grounded down, even production of electricity power grounded down. Many of these things are not working as people have this lackadaisical attitude towards government. They do not want to really put their hearts to it. That's why, that's because there is no punitive measure. There is no punishment, adequate punishment, stiff punishment that is given to people whenever they commit such crimes, such as looting public treasury and cutting away government properties that belong to the people, or mismanagement, or kind of appropriating these things somewhere else, probably into their own pockets. That's the reason why many of them, will not make refineries like this work, while arguing that the challenges confronting the government-owned refineries will persist if left in the hands of the government. That's what I ask myself. I understand that when you have a private business, you want to kind of work it properly. You want to really do it like it's your business, because whatever you get out of it belongs to you. If you do not work it, you don't get nothing. But then one should have asked, why is it that government businesses, government-owned refineries, why is it that they are not working? Why is it that they are not working? These are the questions we should ask. What are the problems that persist, that I claim will persist? What are the challenges that I claim will confront government-owned businesses? Now let's start looking at it. Is it the change of government? After 8 years, another government comes in, a new party that has a new ideology or something inimical to the growth of the people. What is this? That is one of the problems here, as party is more important to them and the need to steal is what is more important to them, nothing more. Look at some other progressive country. When a party comes in, after the election, the next focus is the people. You just don't come in. And yes, there are times that maybe probably the previous government, previous party, probably they stole some money here and there. They kind of increased the amount of money that they claim that they used to kind of execute certain projects. And a new government comes in and begins to see the criminal activities around it, and they want to put it right. They want to put it right. You kind of improve on what has been put there. But when new government comes in, the next thing they do is, what that previous administration did is not okay. I'm going to bring it down and build mine. Or they leave that one in shambles, in decay, and start getting money from somewhere else again. Either they borrow money to begin to build another project so that they can also have opportunity to steal. That's terrible. So these are the issues that needs to be dealt with in this. So I think that's one of the problems, the challenges, and also lack of transparency, lack of will to do the right thing. So I kind of accept what you said, that the challenges that they are not ready to work with, that is to solve or to sort out. That is what it should have said. It should have said the challenges confronting the government-owned refineries or whatever it is the lack of will to do the right thing, is the lack of transparency. That's it. So he went on to say that government will continue to explore a more cheaper gas resources as an alternative. He, however, expressed confidence that the energy crisis in the country will improve by the first quarter of next year, when most of the modular refineries would have come on stream. If the refinery is left in the hands of government, it will continue to experience the same problem it is experiencing now. I do not think that it is the business of the government to run the refinery. It should be the business of private sector investors, which is why we are trying to focus on assisting the private sector to develop modular refineries. Well, it is not a big issue anyway. It's not bad that private sectors come into businesses such as this. After all, governments, countries need investors. But then there should be a particular percentage that the country itself is in charge of. That's how it's supposed to be. Now, defending the decision of the government to hands off the running of refinery, Professor Pastor, the Vice President, C0NFÜS10N, said there is a 100,000 barrel capacity refinery about to come on stream, and we hope it will be the next year. It's completely private and closely located near Port Harcourt refinery so that it can share the facilities of the Port Harcourt refinery. Now, you can see Port Harcourt refinery, there is a refinery there already. Now, there's going to be another one built so they can share, you see. So why is it that the government cannot have a particular percentage? Government should do a particular percentage. Let's say the government divides and say, okay, we are going to give private sector this particular percentage to do this. We're also going to do this ourselves. They say we are hopeful to come on stream in the first quarter of next year. There are also 6 modular refineries that are almost ready. There is Niger Delta Petroleum Refinery in Delta State. There is another one in Imo State. There is also another modular refinery in Edo State. We engage the oil producing communities to find a new vision for the Niger Delta, and we try to encourage modular refinery that will give the people in the oil producing state a stake, so that the modular refinery is not just private, but the people there have some stake and equity. The whole idea is to support as many private refineries as possible. We are also waiting for the Dangote refinery, that's a private one, with 250,000 barrel capacity, which is bigger than all of the government refineries put together. Just imagine. How can Dangote open a refinery that is much bigger than what we have in the whole of Nigeria if Dangote does not have money more than Nigeria? This is what I'm talking about. Now, well, business-minded people might say, well, there's no big deal. After all, there are people who might have, who can. But we know that this is monopoly anyway, and they acquired all of this. But nevertheless, people will say it's going to give jobs and all of that. Yes. One way or the other, it's going to give out jobs here and there. But if we had refineries that are working and there is transparency and punishment for whoever goes against the law or commits any crime, I think things will be much more productive. So he said in the next 2 or 3 months, we will see the private sector playing a bigger role and things will quickly improve. We hope that this particular effort will complete the refurbishment of the refineries, which will be completed soon, but I am more hopeful of the private effort being the key to the future. Speaking further, the Vice President said, however, we have to focus more on our gas resources because there is no reason we should have a cheaper energy source and we should not use such cheaper energy source. I believe that is really the way to go. If you go to where they kind of drill for this oil, you see gas flare just like that, and this is something they should have tapped into to even provide electricity cheaper. But these things are things that they need to work on. Unfortunately, the president of Nigeria does not understand any of these things, and even if he does, he might just listen to the cabals and probably want to go against this. And that is the reason why they try to push C0NFÜS10N to the corner, because they know that he has what it takes. He has some kind of knowledge about certain things. I'm not saying he knows everything. There are certain things that he talks about too, and if you look at it deep, yes, they look good on the book, but when you look at the situation around and everything, you realize that there is a lot that needs to be done. But in this case, you think that private sector should be the one 100% handling the refineries, even the steel industry and all of those things in Nigeria, or you think that the government should have a particular percentage in this also, not just private sectors running the show, and they also have to be accountable for all.